Crystal. Somebody posed as the owner and leased the house to us for 1 year. What rights, if any, do I have? Is there any way to stay in the property? So fake owner, tenant to innocent tenant with lease agreement with fake owner.
Yeah, so this is a wild question. I love this. Before we started, we had the discussion, and I asked Bruno to ask me the estoppel question. And when he started reading this one, he knew exactly what I'm talking about. So estoppel is a very complex part of our law. I think there's not a lot of lawyers that really understand estoppel, and it's multiple faceted application. It's almost, estoppel is like that weird crystal ball thing that you can apply to so many different aspects of the law, and this is one of them. So if you were truly an innocent third party, and what I mean by saying truly an innocent third party is if you really thought you are engaging with the owner, you did your due diligence in the sense that you went to view the property, you saw that this is the person there. There's no obligation on a tenant to do a deed search to check that the party posing as the landlord is in fact the registered owner of the property, because it's not a requirement in our law that the owner must be the landlord. A landlord can be a person with a right or power of attorney or whatever. There's a million things behind that would give another person the right to be a landlord on a specific property he does not own. So ownership and being the landlord are two very different things. So for the tenant, if the reasonable person, the reasonable tenant would have been in your situation and they would have concluded that agreement, there's now a situation where this agreement could, by application of estoppel, could be a binding agreement now also on the owner. The owner could in turn have a full claim against the fake landlord. So there's an issue, there's a legal situation on that side. It's not like estoppel is going to come in, we're going to apply it and say, okay, Mr. Landlord, fake landlord, you can get the rent and the owner must now just carry on with his life and not have access to his property for the term of your lease agreement. That's not the case. There would be a very big claim, a loss of income. There's a massive delictual claim there against the fake landlord from the owner. There could even be a fraud and criminal aspect to it. So there's a very big story behind that between the owner and this fake landlord. But for you as the tenant, if you can prove that you were truly under the impression this person gave you everything and he misled you to believe he is the owner, or at least has the authority on behalf of the owner to contract with you, you can enforce the terms of that agreement. You can most definitely remain in occupation of the premises. You might want to, depending on the case, but please don't cowboy this one. This is not one of those DIY things. I would really suggest you get in contact with one of our firms, or the tribunal even would be able to help you out. I don't know if the tribunal would be able to pull estoppel from start to finish. But I mean,
it'd be quite complex, I suppose, for them.
Exactly, it would be quite complex, but I mean, at least on mediation. So not I don't mean the legal side of things. I mean, on a mediation level, the tribunal could help you out, and obviously without you incurring any legal costs. But legally, I can see a very simple way of keeping you in the property, but the owner must also be aware of the fact that they're not just stuck in this, and they can't just say, you know what, I'm going to have to leave this property and not have any value for my own property. The owner definitely has a claim against this person. Like I said, even criminal. But if you can prove that you were bona fide in all of this, you would be able to stay the full term of the agreement. Extension, I can't see that happening because now you know, and then estoppel can't apply any further. So I can definitely see a legal way of keeping you in the property, but you're gonna have to continue paying rent. The rent might have to go into a trust account to be paid over to the owner while that dispute is being resolved, but you can't stop paying rent. As long as you pay rent, you're a truth in the innocent third party. I can apply estoppel on your behalf in this one. What do you think, Bruno? Am I being a cowboy or?
No. So absolutely. So obviously the only downside is also trying to see whether the owner in any way represented themselves as knowing about this relationship. Yeah. So what I normally say is you need to now go, before you go see an attorney, just go through emails, go through everywhere, and just see if there's ever been anything that gave that indication. Even the owner waving at you as you walk into the property is an indication, because it shows that there's a level of knowledge on what's happening. So yeah, the tender of rent is an important one, because you can't not pay the rent. That's a biggie, because then you'll end up in breach. And if you're still fighting and trying to figure out what the story is, the trust account works really well, because tenders can be made pending clarity. And at least the money's being paid into the trust account, so it becomes very difficult to say that you haven't actually made the effort and you're tendering the rent. You just genuinely don't know where to pay it to. So yeah, totally agree with you on that.